Hello, and welcome to CSCI1000 Introduction to Computers. This lecture will cover some basic administrative material you need to know about how you'll be graded in this class, what we'll be covering, how to download the assignments, how to upload the assignments, turn in the assignments, and how to get assistance with the assignments if you need help, what resources are available. I think this is particularly important to talk about since this is an online class and it is about computers. So in order to take this class about computers, you need to know a little bit about computers already to even be able to watch lectures and turn things in. So please do ask me questions if you're unclear about anything on here. I want everybody to be able to navigate the website and things like that. So first, hello, my name is Mr. Simmons. I'm a lecturer at Georgia College. I started in January 2014. Before that, I was working at an office automation startup for law firms. And before that, I was in the graduate computer science program at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I've been working with computers almost my whole life, enjoy them very much, and I hope you enjoyed this class. Let me know if there's anything you're unclear on, or if you have any feedback for this class, just send me an email. Love to hear from you. This class has three major components. The first component is basic computer literacy, and this covers just what is the internet, how to use websites, how to use specific pieces of software, kind of what types of software is out there, stuff like that, and also some societal issues related to computers. Computers are a very important part of our world today, and there are some kind of societal issues related to computers that it's important that everybody know about, just kind of to be an informed citizen. So that's the first part. The second part is all about Microsoft Office, specifically PowerPoint, Excel, and Access. That's pretty straightforward. We're just going to talk about the basic to intermediate usage of those three computer programs. And then finally, the last part is an introduction to computer programming using the Alice programming language. Alice is what's typically known as a toy language. It's not a language that professional programmers really use. It more exists specifically to introduce people to computer programming. It's a pretty cool program, though. You get to, using it, you get to create 3D animations, even some basic computer games with it, without really having to go to too much trouble to set things up. So it's a very interesting programming environment. I hope you enjoy it. I do want to warn you that most students find this to be this last part with Alice to be by far the hardest part of the class. So just be aware of that and be ready for that. And don't, get behind. Make sure that you keep up with the Alice assignments during this part. More about these three individual parts. The computer literacy part, the lectures are not really going to be on the material from the textbook. It's going to be additional topics augmenting the textbook. So it's very important that you do the training for this part. Oops. Went way ahead. Okay. It's very important that you do the training for this part since we are not going to be discussing some of the material from the textbook in the lectures. I don't think you'll have much trouble with the training. The textbook material in this part is pretty straightforward, but definitely do make sure that you do the training. Grading for this part, total percentage of your grade for this part is 20% of the final grade. There will be a comprehensive exam that goes over both the material from the textbooks and material from the lectures. That will be 10% of your grade. Quizzes, there will be 5 quizzes just on the material from the textbook. That's 5% of your grade. And then finally, the essay is 5% of your grade. Ignore this because this is more for in-person classes. There's not really any kind of way to grade class participation in online class. So 5% of your grade will be the essay. And we'll talk about what the topic is for the essay later. But you have a choice of 3 different topics. Microsoft Office, second part of the class. We're going over PowerPoint, Excel, and Access. You will definitely need Office 2013 for this part of the class. You can get it for free as GCSU students. Any other version of Office really won't work. Specifically, if you have a Mac, Office for the Mac will not work because, first of all, there is no Microsoft Access version for the Mac, and second, the PowerPoint and Excel versions are just different enough to where it causes problems. Students have tried to use Office for the Mac before. It really does not work very well, so I would highly recommend you get access to a Windows computer for this part of the class. You'll be able to use Mac for all of the other parts, the first part and the third part. But the Microsoft Office part, Macs really will not work very well for it. Now, if you install Windows on your Mac and then install the Windows version of Office, that would work fine. But most people, I don't think I've seen any student do that. So just get access to a Windows computer for this part. Getting Office for free as GCSU students, I'll post a link with some instructions on how to do that. If you look through the email I've sent you, there will be information about specifically how you can download Office 2013 for free. Grading, there will be a PowerPoint exam, which is a project, an Excel exam, which is a project, and then a 2-part Access exam, which is both of them, where both of them are projects. So basically what you'll do here is you'll go to SAM, download a start file, and follow some instructions to complete a PowerPoint presentation or a spreadsheet or an Access database, and then you upload your final project. You get 5 tries, and your highest grade from those 5 tries is taken. These are called exams. There's only one, except the Access is a 2-part project, but these assignments, since there's only one assignment for each homework for each program here, these are very, very important assignments because basically a single assignment is 20% of your grade for the Excel part, for instance. I do want to mention here, this part of the class, group work is not allowed. So this part, computer literacy and Microsoft Office, group work is not allowed. Group work is allowed for the ALS part of the class, but only that part of the class. So make sure to do all of these assignments by yourself. And also, I want to mention this just because it's happened in the past, and I really don't want anybody to do this. If you copy someone's Excel project or PowerPoint project or something like that, SAM, the website that we use, does detect that, so you will get caught, and you will, at a minimum, receive a 0 on whatever assignment you cheated on. So just remember this is not a group assignment, and make sure to do all of these projects on your own. If you want to discuss the projects with other students, that's fine. Just when you actually open up PowerPoint and start moving things around and typing things into the program, make sure that you're using your own start file and make sure that you're doing it by yourself. It's fine if you want to use Google for these projects. They're called exams, but they're not really time limited. You have about 2 days to do them, and I don't mind if you look up how to do the different things, like how to create a certain Excel formula or something using Google or another search engine. Part of using computers effectively is knowing how to find information like that. So I encourage you to use Google if you think it would help you in any way. The final part of the class is Alice programming. We're going to use Alice 2.4.3 unless there are significant problems. We are not using Alice 3. Do not use Alice 3. It's incompatible with Alice 2. Alice 3 is more complicated than Alice 2. It's intended for classes where the students transition to a real programming language such as Java. So even though the version number is higher, Alice 2 still has a place. Alice 3 was not intended to replace Alice 2, and it hasn't, and we're using Alice 2. So 2.4.3 is the version that we're going to use. Don't worry that the textbook says it's for Alice 2.2. Alice 2.4 and Alice 2.2 are compatible, so don't worry that the textbook says it's for Alice 2. This is by far the hardest part of the class, so you must read the textbook for this part. During the lectures, I will solve some problems that are similar but not identical to the homework assignments. So in order to understand what I'm doing, you will have to read the textbook before you watch the lectures. It's very important that you don't get behind during this part, so if you get confused, run into any trouble, ask right away. Grading for this part, there is a single final project, which is 15% of your grade. You have a lot of freedom for what to do with that. You can do a computer game, you can do some sort of animation, just so long as you meet all the requirements. And I'll post the rubrics for all Alice assignments. They're already posted on the website. All homeworks together, and there will be 7 Alice homeworks, are 15%. So half is the final project, half is all of your homeworks put together. Each homework is going to be identically weighted, and for this part, for the final project and the homeworks, you can work with up to 3 other people. I'll go more into how you download the start files for the homeworks later. You go to a different website from SAM. This part of the class, we don't use SAM at all. So SAM is used for Microsoft Office and computer literacy. SAM is not used for Alice. So with that said, let's talk a little bit, before we get to this slide, I want to talk a little bit about downloading Alice and using SAM. So let's do SAM first, since we're going to do that chronologically first. Don't ever go to sam.cengage.com. I know I just did, but that's because my demo assignment is there. You will access SAM this way. You'll go to SAM assignments, and then you'll click this link right here. That's how you get to the SAM homepage. This is your SAM homepage. So this is a calendar that shows you your assignments. You can also go here, and there will be an activity list that you can look at. And what I want to show you right now is how to do a quiz, because that's one of the first things we're going to be doing. The quiz for Chapter 1 is due tomorrow, Tuesday. So I want to go ahead and start that quiz, show you how to do quizzes like that right now. So to do that, you select it in the activity list, and then you just click Start. Now, be aware you only have one opportunity to do the quiz. If it comes up with something like this, go ahead and click Allow. So this is the format for the quiz. There are 2 types of questions, and I'm going to go through each of them. first type is this kind of drag and drop question. And you just drag and drop each of these clips into the column that they should go in, either true or false. And so this is what I decided to answer for this. And let me show you what happens when you get a question incorrect. I'm going to put this here. Answer incorrect, either go to next item or retry this item. You get 3 tries for each question. So I'm going to post the correct answer here now, and then click submit to submit it. So before I do that, I want to point something out. You absolutely must click the submit button. If you don't click the submit button, if you do this instead, it erases your answer and you don't get credit for it. So these allow you to navigate between different questions. So for instance, if you're running low on time and you want to skip a question, that's what these arrows are for. By the way, your time limit is right here. If you want to submit your answer, you have to click the submit button. So let me do this again. And I'm going to click submit. Answer correct, advance to next item. That's what you want to see. That means you got credit for your answer. Now this is another type of question. Instead of dragging and dropping, you just click to draw lines between each of these. By the way, I think this is just wonderful that people have used the Wii in that way. That's kind of a very important side benefit of having computer games available. Okay, so once you see this screen, that means you've completed the quiz. Now I want to show you something here while we're on the SAM homepage. If you go to reports, you can see your grade for the quiz by selecting something here. Finally, this PowerPoint exam here, you will typically have 5 attempts for a PowerPoint exam, and once you've submitted an attempt for your PowerPoint exam, it'll show up here after a few minutes. And you can download the report here, and it will actually open the PowerPoint program. If it's for Excel or Access, it'll open that program instead. And you get to see Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and start it this way. Let's see. I'll just start from here. All right. Okay, here we go. You'll see you'll get to a file like this. So the last slide this last slide has information about what I got right and wrong on here, and so it'll be a customized scorecard that'll basically show you exactly what you did correct or incorrect for each part of it. So you see slide 4 is where the problems are. So if you go up to slide 4, you'll see it has information about specifically what's wrong here. And so that's important to know. Now, I started PowerPoint 2010 here. We will use PowerPoint 2013 in this class, so don't get confused. However, that example was for a PowerPoint 2010 assignment, which is why I used it there. And so once again, if for the Excel and Access projects, you'll get Excel and Access files that you open, which show you your score, what you got wrong, what you need to do to fix it, everything like that. And so that's it for SAM. Let me just show you quickly how you can download Alice. Well, I'll use the links. I use the links in here. Alice links. Download Alice 2.4.3. Just click that, and then click for Mac OS, Windows, Linux, whichever one you're using. Click that and download it, and follow the instructions to install it. If you run into trouble installing Alice, probably the best thing to do would be to ask me to remotely assist you with that, and we'll go over that in a minute. But the final thing I want to show you is how to get to the Alice start files. So these are the links that you need to click to get to start files for Alice. So this is important because it's how I know that you did your assignment either by yourself or in a group where you listed all of your group members. So every Alice homework, please go here and download the Alice start files. The exceptions are homework 1 and homework 4. I don't require you to use Alice start files for those homeworks. However, for every other homework, I want you to type your name in, click submit, and then click download here, and download an Alice start file. And what that does is it embeds your name into the Alice file, so that I know that you are the person who did the assignment and that nobody copied your work or anything like that. So, moving forward, how to get help with the work. So this is a very important slide. This is if you ever run into trouble and you don't know how to contact me or anything, look at this slide. It's all here. The best way to ask for help is to go to this website here and ask questions there. So this is a chat room which exists for every class that I teach. Just type in your name, or I'm just going to type in student. Type in your name, any name you want really you can use, and click login. There's no password, and you just log in here. You can close 1301 and 3343 because those are not for this class. CSCI1000, this tab is the tab for the class that you're enrolled in, and just ask your question here. And if you notice, I'm currently on here. So this is me, P. Simmons-Android, and I'm a moderator, which is why the star, there's a star there. So if I'm logged in, and I always should be, you'll see one or more P. Simmons dash something people in this right tab over here, and I will see your question and I will get back to you. If you have to go offline before I have a chance to answer you, and you don't want to go online to see what the answer is, go ahead and post your email address here, and I'll make sure to email you in addition to answering it in the chat room. So chat room is the best way to ask questions where you think there's any chance another student might have the same question. Email, this is my email address. That's better for questions where you're pretty sure no other student would be interested in the answer. If you send me an email, just go ahead and please include a meaningful subject line in the header of the message. That makes it a lot easier for me to keep track of who's asking what. If you just, say don't have a subject line, if you just leave the subject line blank, and two students leave the subject line blank, it's hard for me to find out which one is yours so that I can respond to it. Include the name of your section in the subject line. The name of your section is W3, I believe. That's not so important because I'm only teaching one section over the summer. Usually I care about that more. And so an example of a good subject line would be this. Finally, last way to get help, SAM tech support. If you call this number, and this is not for Alice, and this is for cases where you're on the SAM website and something goes wrong. These are the maintainers of the website, and you can call this number. It's not a 24-hour line, however, the hours are something like 9 a.m. to midnight, I think. They've got pretty good hours. And you can just ask them, about whatever problem you're having with the website, and they're trained to be able to help you with that. You can ask me for help with the website as well, but these people, they built the website, and if there's something actually wrong with the website, they're the only ones who can fix it. So this is a very good resource for you there. I have a separate page here on remote access. If you run into a problem installing software or something, or it's something where it's not really a question that you have so much as you just don't even know where to start, or you need somebody to walk you through something, remote access is very good for that particular problem. So the way that we're going to do remote access in this class is through Google Chrome's remote desktop feature. So I'm starting up Google Chrome right now, and I'll demonstrate to you how you would do that. So you don't need to use Google Chrome as your default browser or anything like that. Just search Google for startup at Chrome, download it if you don't have it, and then search for Chrome Remote Desktop. And if you go here, if you click this, you'll have an install button here. Now I already installed Chrome Remote Desktop. So I want to show you this right here. This is the code that I'll need. I'm going to walk you through, and I'm not going to be able to actually get to this screen. However, this is what the information I would need from you. So once you click the download button here, you can go ahead and click on Launch App, and you'll get a screen like this. You then want to click Share here. And this is asking me to download something and install it, which I'm not going to do. So I can't show you exactly what happens after that, but normally when you click Share, you'll get that little pop-up with the numbers. That's what I need to be able to remotely control your computer. So if you think you need me to remotely control your computer, just ask during office hours. It's probably best to ask through the chat room. However, don't post those numbers to the chat room, because if you do, by the way, you can also launch Chrome Remote Desktop by clicking Apps and clicking here after you've installed it. Most important thing to do is install it. I'd install it right now while you're thinking about it. And then once you have it installed, you can launch it any kind of way. Click Share, you'll get some numbers, and then I'll be able to remotely control your computer if you give me those numbers. So don't post those numbers to the chat room again, because if you do that, anybody who's in the chat room can remotely control your computer, and you probably don't want that. Because probably it's going to be other students in the chat room, but you don't really know for sure. And anyway, you might not trust your classmates that much, not to go and mess around with your computer or something. So email it to me, or private message me if you know how to do that. Typically, private messaging someone is something that you would do if you used a client, not the web chat thing. Just email me the access code during my office hours, and I will take a look at your computer and see if I can figure out what's going on. Okay, so a little bit about my office hours. If you go here, my office hours are posted under office hours here. Just click office hours. By the way, this is the web chat client. I'll always answer stuff from the web chat client during my office hours. My official office hours are here, and they're held in that chat room. So Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be using the Eastern Time Zone for all of this, wherever you are. 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 3 to 4 Central, and you can, I'm sure you can do the time zone conversion on your own if you're somewhere else. And so this is when I guarantee that I will be monitoring that chat room, and I'll be able to do remote access for anybody who needs it. If you have a question where you think I need to do remote access to help you out, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, that's the best time to ask me to do that. I'm not going to hold in-person office hours for this class because I'm not physically in Milledgeville. This is an online class, so the office hours are going to be online. I'm not physically in Milledgeville, so I can't meet with you. If I were, then I would. But typically with these online classes, office hours are held online, and that's how we're gonna do it in this class as well. So if you can ask me questions in the chat room or email me anytime, and I'll probably get back to you in a few hours or so. However, I guarantee that I'll be available here, and if you need me to remotely access your computer, this is the right time to ask me to do that. Otherwise, those codes expire after a certain amount of time, so if you email me at like 1 p.m. some access code for your computer, well, I might not get that for a couple hours. By the time I do, you probably turn your computer off or something. So if you need to coordinate with me something where we both need to be doing something at the same time, my office hours are the right time for that. So finally, I want to mention a few things about basic computer literacy, specifically file systems. So being able to manage files on a computer is an important skill, and it's a little more complicated than it might seem at first. So just a review of how the file system works. Files are identified by path names, which is a list of all of the directories that the file is a part of. So a file can be a part of a folder, and a folder can be a part of a folder. So to ultimately get to a file from, when you have no idea where it is, you need to start at the top folder and then go to the folder in that folder and then go to the folder in that folder in that folder. And so an example of a path name is right here: e:/school/GCSU/CSCI1000/Alice/homework1.a2w. That's a path name. Now this is a Windows path name because it starts with e:, and the slashes are backslashes rather than forward slashes. So this is on probably a flash drive, because E would be a common name that Windows would give a flash drive. And to get to the file, you go to the school folder, then you go to the GCSU folder, then the CSCI1000 folder, then the Alice folder, and then finally the file name is homework1.a2w. Now the .a2w there identifies the type of the file it is. So Word documents are typically .doc or .docx. Excel documents are .xlsx. PowerPoint documents are .pptx. And Alice files are .a2w. So it's important to recognize the different types of extensions here. Now, one thing I want to point out is that Windows does something that's kind of not good. Windows will sometimes, depending on how you've configured your computer, hide the extension to a file. So you might not see the .a2w here, or you might not see .pptx. And so a common problem that students run into is they'll try to upload their completed Office project to SAM, and it'll keep telling them the file name's wrong. And you'll check it and you'll see, oh well, no, the name is right. Well, what's probably going on is that the file is supposed to be named something like project1.pptx, and you typed in project1.pptx when you gave it the name. However, Windows had already added a pptx onto it, and it's hiding the extension. So the file is supposed to be project1.pptx, and you're trying to upload project1.pptx.pptx because you added the extension and Windows did too, and Windows isn't showing you the extension that it added. So if you run into that problem, just try deleting the .pptx or whatever from the end of it. That might be enough to get the file to be uploaded. If you run into that problem and you can't solve it for whatever reason, go ahead and email me the assignment, and then during my next office hours, get online and let me remotely access your computer so I can show you how to upload the file so that you don't run into that problem in the future. Because you can email me the file, and that's great, and I'll accept that. However, it can't get graded that way because I don't have the ability to submit a project on your behalf. You have to be the one to do it. And so if you need help doing that, I need to remotely access your computer to do that. This is just some information about Mac OS and Linux file systems. These operating systems don't use drive letters, so you just start with a /, and path names are built off of that. Oftentimes your files will be in the /users folder on Mac OS, because that's where your data files are typically stored. And if you have a flash drive or something, it's probably going to be under /volumes. Mac OS doesn't make the path names of files visible very often. However, you will see them when you use Alice. Alice does make use of the Mac OS path names. And then finally, one final point I want to point out. When you download a file, your web browser makes a file on your computer and copies the information from the server to your computer. So for instance, if you download, say, the start file for a PowerPoint project, and PowerPoint opens, well, PowerPoint is actually opening a file that got downloaded. and that file was probably downloaded to some random temporary internet files directory. So if you do all of your work in that PowerPoint instance that popped up, and then you close PowerPoint, you might have just lost your work because you don't know where it put that file, and you need to know where it put that file in order for you to be able to upload that file to the web server. So make sure that you know what files you're working on, and you know what the path name of those files are. What the path names of those files are. So specifically, what I recommend doing is, if you click on the start file for a PowerPoint project, I recommend before you do anything else, immediately doing a save as, and saving it with the correct name. Typically all you have to do to give it the correct name is backspace and change the 1 to a 2. The name will typically be almost right, except it'll have _1 at the end of it, and to be the right name it needs to be _2. So change the name to the right name and put it in some directory where you'll be able to find it later. Put it on your desktop, put it on a flash drive, put it somewhere where you'll be able to get to it later when you need to upload that project after you've finished it. Finally, last thing, web browsers do not know how to open Alice files. So if you're working with someone on an Alice project, or you're downloading the start file for an Alice project, you're not going to be able to open it from the web browser, most likely. Most likely, you're going to need to go and download it, save it somewhere. Probably your web browser will save it to the downloads folder automatically or something. And then you need to open the Alice program and click and go to the open dialog box in Alice and navigate to wherever you save that file. Because the operating system probably won't be able to do it for you. This is just more information on that. And now finally, final slide, just some general policies. I do accept late work, up to 24 hours late. There is a penalty unless you have a valid reason. If you have a medical emergency or something like that, or you know, you have a week-long power outage, or, well, okay, that's probably not going to happen. But if you have some sort of legitimate excuse, email me and I'll waive the late penalty, as long as you get it to me in a reasonable amount of time after that. Regarding the exams, you must take the exams when they're posted, so you'll have about 2 days to do most of the office assignments. You'll have 1 day where you have to take the Discovering Computers exam. So make sure that you don't miss those. The dates are posted on Georgia View already, so you can see when they're going to be. They're on the syllabus. I have everything. The whole summer semester is scheduled in that syllabus, which is already posted online. So just make sure to keep up with that. And again, if you have any questions or you run into trouble with anything, please do contact me and we'll get it sorted out. Alright, thank you. Quiz 1 is assigned, the quiz for Chapter 1 is assigned today. Just you know, read through Chapter 1 and do the training. Oh, let me show you before I forget, before we go, how to use the textbook. So once again, you don't go to sam.cengage.com. I'm just doing this because it's an easy way for me to show you stuff. Your view of SAM will look like this. Go ahead, click Activity List here, and click this. Discovering Computers, Microsoft, and Microsoft Office 2013. You'll get to your textbook will load this way. You'll be able to go into the textbook, read it, etc. are down here. And once again, to get to this website, you don't do what I just did. You go to SAM Assignments and click this link here. Now when you click this link, it's going to ask you to purchase access to it. And so you need to do that. And the syllabus has information about how exactly to purchase that. Let me click download here. So the syllabus here, there's a link here which will take you to the website. So it's Cengage Brain. And this is an e-pack. It's got both the Alice textbook and access to SAM 2013 included. So the way this works is you buy this, and I would get it from here rather than a bookstore because it's cheaper here, and you get instant delivery of the online part. The way this works is you buy this, gives you a code. The first time you try to access SAM by clicking this link right here, it'll ask you to pay for your class. You give it the code that you bought from here. Your code gets emailed to you, I believe. And after a few days, you get your physical Alice textbook in the mail. So you will get a physical copy of this book, which is what we're using for the last third of the course, in the mail. Now, since we're not using it until the last third of the course, it's fine as long as you buy it today, you'll certainly get it before you need it. I believe that just in case you don't, you also get access to an ebook version of this book while this book is in the mail. However, just buy this today, right away. Unfortunately, you can't really shop around for it because it's access to a website, not really a physical book, so students can't sell old access codes and things like that. Once you've used an access code, it's tied to you as a student and you can't transfer it to anybody else. So the only two places where you can really get this are here and the bookstore slightly more expensive. If you already have your Alice textbook and you just need SAM access, I'm going to send you an email that has a link to this without the Alice part of the bundle. However, if you don't have the Alice textbook, and I know probably most of you don't, this is the right link to use because the Alice textbook is going to be more expensive by itself than if you try to get access to SAM and the Alice textbook separately. It's probably going to be more expensive. So okay, that is it for today. Tomorrow, well, that's it for this lecture. However, you should, according to the syllabus, look through Chapter 2 today as well. But however, that's it for this lecture. Good luck. Look forward to having you in this class. And oh wait, there was one other thing: how to actually watch these videos. You might be watching this on YouTube, in which case, if you are, there is a better way to do it. So Videolan, this is an excellent movie player. You can download it from here, and then you will be able to get to the videos on your own. Now the videos are either going to be, the videos might be on Moongate They also might be on cs1.gcsu.edu. I'm going to post a link in lecture material, policy. I'm going to post a link here that gives you access to the videos. For example, just as an example, these are the videos from last summer. I may update these, or I might put them somewhere on moongate.ydns.e. In either case, you'll be able to download them from there. You'll also be able to get to them through YouTube, through the link, which if you're watching this on YouTube, you've probably gotten it through a link on Georgia View. I haven't put a link to YouTube on Georgia View yet, but I will. That's fine. Either way of doing it is fine. However, one thing I want to warn you about is on YouTube it's going to be a little bit blurrier. It's going to be a little bit blurry, so you might want to go ahead and download VideoLAN. If you run into trouble installing VideoLAN, contact me during office hours. I'll connect to your computer and help you download it. It's pretty easy to install. Okay, so that is it for this first lecture. Good luck. Look forward to having you in this class, and make sure to keep up with the other lectures in the future. All right. Have a nice evening.